Fitness app Strava, which has more than 150 million users globally, closed its latest fundraising round with a valuation of $2.2 billion. Strava announced its acquisition of Runna and The Breakaway as well. Joining us now to discuss how the company is putting that funding to work, Michael Martin, Strava CEO. Morning Brief co-host Brad Smith, avid fitness guy, is also with us here. Mike, thank you so much for joining us. I am a Strava user, I have to admit. I use it to document my hikes specifically. So how are you guys, as you do this new fundraising, what is the goal, what is the plan for expansion?
Yeah, thank you, Julian. Thank you, Brad, both for being customers, but also for having me on. So Strava is coming off a year of historic growth. So we saw 50% year-on-year growth last year, and Q1 of this year is actually growing even faster. That growth has given us great opportunity to look at across the fitness industry as a whole and try to think about how we can better serve consumers across all different sports. So you're right by calling Strava a fitness app, and that you both have different ways that you engage with it. We support 50 different types of fitness. Right now, running is booming, but Julie, hiking is building up quickly as well. And we went and did this round specifically so we could not only build upon that organic growth, but we could have the opportunity to go and add in some best of breed offerings that further deepen our ability to support many different types of sport.
Michael, as people who engage with Strava, and also you have an overlap perhaps in that Venn diagram of potential future investors as well that would love to see this company be publicly traded here. What does this funding do towards getting Strava more in that realm or the mindset of potentially going public?
Well, we're in a really unique situation right now. Not only is the business profitable and has been profitable for more than 4 years now, the free cash flow continues to grow substantially. And that put us in a great situation to be able to both do this round, but then also draw upon those cash reserves and do a little bit of tactical debt financing as well with JP Morgan Chase and Wells Fargo. Combining those three things together gave us a great cost of capital and a way to pursue our plans. In terms of something like a future public listing, I would just say that the future is extremely bright for us right now. I wouldn't rule that out, but I don't think we need to do it at this moment in time. I do think as we continue down this path, all kinds of opportunities like that become more and more certain.
And Mike, talk us through a little bit more about, you talked about your profitability. Talk to us a little bit more about how you make money. Of those 150 million users, how many of them are paid users? Because I know you guys have that sort of freemium model. And what are the other sources of sales for you all?
Yeah, happy to. We don't disclose subscriber numbers, but subscription represents the bulk of our business. Almost 90% of our revenue comes from subscription. I'm really excited. This valuation is for, just to be clear, is for the Strava standalone business. So it's post-money, but these acquisitions. With these acquisitions and the growth that they're seeing as well, we expect to hit a ARR of $500 million in the short-term foreseeable future. And that gives us great opportunities to continue to move forward.
As you think about what other running and apparel companies have said, and running being recession resilient, I wonder how you're seeing that play through from the platform perspective too. Do you sense any kind of hesitation from users who might still be running, but may not be paying for as many features as they would have been in kind of, more free-flowing cash times, and how that ultimately translates to a better kind of baseline and forecasting for the business?
Yeah, so one of the things that I've learned in this industry, not just in the 18 months that I've spent here in the CEO role at Strava, but also in my time at Nike, is that sport is a long-term secular tailwind. It's continuing to grow on a global basis and has no signs of stopping in the foreseeable future. What shifts, though, is trends between sports and demographic trends. So like right now, the big boom in sports on a global basis is in running, and specifically with Gen Z women. And that's happening here in the US, but that's also happening at massive scale across Southeast Asia, across the global South. That flexibility between different sport categories, some of which require more money from the consumers, some of which are, far more democratic and less equipment required, allows us to shift and move between them. But to go back to Julie's question, we also, besides the subscription business, have a sizable and growing advertising business through sponsored challenges. And this gives us sort of dual engines that we can use to make sure that our growth continues to be steady and predictable through the business.
And Mike, one of the interesting things about Strava is that it's not only a tracking app, of course, it's also it has a social media element, right? You can see your friends, you can connect with people you don't know. Talk us through that angle of it a little bit and kind of what functionality that brings for users.
Yeah, totally. We definitely have social features, and it is a social app. I don't think of it as a social media app because social media apps are about keeping you locked in the app and spending as much time there as possible. Strava exists to make the whole world active. So our goal is to get people outside of the app to go and motivate them to go and do an activity, go for a hike, go for a run, get on a bike, go for a swim. The community and the social features are all designed very, very finely to help motivate you to be more active. And that is a very unique and uniquely positive aspect of the internet, which makes Strava a truly unique internet platform because it's a place where you can go and get that sort of recognition and motivation in a helpful, positive, supporting, and encouraging way. But it's never going to be one where we turn it into a full social media network. Those features are really about motivating users to be more active.
Mike, real quick, what's your sport on Strava? Are you a runner?
So according to our year in sport, my top sport is running, following that cycling and swimming.
Wow, all of the above. All right, Michael Martin, thank you so much, Strava CEO, and Brad Smith for joining me as well.